Peace, 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 love, prosperity, abundance, self love, self care, wisdom, knowledge, patience, understanding, or the four corners of the earth standing. Stop looking at my titties. Oh, look at them. Look at the watermelons. Grand rising, and we rising to the top. We rising to the top. We will forever and ever rise up to the top. Of course, some days you're gonna feel like something is trying to pull you down. Listen, we're gonna keep going. All right. Don't let go of whatever you're holding on up there. Don't let go. People are gonna try to bring you down, but continue on holding. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you for always taking. I need to turn my fan on. For always taking time out of your busy day, your busy schedule to look at my beautiful natural face, my little, funny self, a little witty. I appreciate you all. Knowledge is not in the head of one person. I'm here to learn, and I believe you're here to learn. All right. So today I wanna share this message with y'all for people that wonder or people that are wondering what are the signs of going through spiritual awakening, or people that sometimes contact me and ask me how they become spiritual. First of all, you don't just become spiritual. It's either you're chosen or you're not. You understand? Example, Jesus was chosen before his birth. Yeah? I was chosen. And if you're watching me and you're chosen, you know it. From birth, you might not understand certain things that you used to, um, how do I say it? All right, I'm going to give you an example. When I knew I was going through a spiritual awakening, I didn't know then that it was a spiritual awakening. I didn't know then that I was chosen. But if I give you this example, I believe you will understand and probably you can relate. So these are another sign, right? One sign that will help you to identify whether you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're chosen one, or you're not. For me, when I was young and I started growing, maybe like a teenager, I will question God's gender. I'm like, what gender is God? Is God a man or God is a woman? Where's my? Give me 1 second. I question God's gender. Why? Because please don't get me mad. I live in a world that says God made us in His own image, right? It never said God made us in her own image. It never said God made us in his or her own image. It simply said God made us in his image. That means we have given a gender to God, which means God is a man. So if God made me in his image and I'm a woman with a breast, standing ovation, and I have something that is called vagina, right? And you telling me that God made me in his image, does that mean that God is a woman? You will start asking these questions. Now, if you're a man, you're going to say, okay, God made me in his own image. I'm a man. My titties is little, and I have something that it has two balls and a stick. That means that God got penis and balls, right? A man would think like that because a man or a male or a boy is not a girl. It's not a woman. It's not a female. So a man will also see God as him, right? That's a sign. Another sign again is, so if God made man and woman, okay, fine. That means God is how do I say? I say God is hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite is a person that has both sex, or right, a man that has a vagina and a penis, or a woman that has a vagina and a penis. That's how I see God. And then the other side of me is, okay, then God made animals, cats, dogs, just say animals. God made them in their image. So does that mean that God is an elephant? Does that mean that God is a part of God is a dog, part of God is a goat? Then this same God created trees or made trees. right? Then this same God made air or created air, gave us rivers, right? You will start asking all these questions in your head. You will ask your pastors, that is, if you were born into Christianity. If you're a Muslim, you might ask your imams or your malams. They can give you an answer. Most of them, they're going to tell you that you challenging God. But you got to understand, if God made me in my own image and I'm a woman and I refer to God as my mama, or I refer to God as she made me in her image, why am I wrong? Why must I identify God as a man? When the scripture clearly says I made you in my image. So these are some of the conflict you're going to have. And believe me, you're not going to have an answer from a man born of a woman, meaning that all creation, all life, we all came from a woman. All of us, we came from our mother's womb. So what I'm trying to say is that you're not going to get an answer. A human being cannot give you the answer. You must go within. That's how you get an answer. And the answer will be God is genderless. Okay? Everything that God created is God. The trees are God. The animals are God. The air you breathe in is God. The sun in the sky is God. The moon is God. You start seeing God in creation. You don't see God as a man with a penis and flat titties. That's not what you see God as. You don't see God as a white man with beard. No, you don't see God as a black man with beard. You don't associate, you don't characterize God as a man, but you characterize God as everything. That's why sometimes we refer to God as the universe, because the universe is God and we are here experiencing it. This is just one sign. I want to put it out there. I kind of gave you the answer, but when you start feeling this urge of wanting to know God's gender, that is because God is working through you. It's like a snake when they shed, what they call it, they shed their skin. God is trying to let you go with the labels and what society has told you. Society has told you God is a man that live in the sky. God is gonna, you asking yourself all these questions, is God, you knocking. You know, the scripture say, ask it shall be given and knock it shall be open. So you asking yourself, is God a man? If God is a man, then how come everybody is not a man? But then God made woman. So that means God is a man and a woman, because God made me in his image. But I'm not a he, I'm a she. You understand that? So you start asking all these questions, and as you keep going on your journey and keep searching and keep asking and going within. Now you can ask the answer today. It doesn't mean you're gonna get an answer. You can ask the question today, but your answers is not guaranteed to be tomorrow or the next day. You can get an answer a year from now. God will give you the answer when you're ready. You understand that? It is hard in here, so pardon me. This is one sign that you've chosen or you're going through a spiritual awakening. You will start seeing that God is everything. But before you see, understand, and understand and digest that God is everything, you must start asking questions. I'm a man. God is a man, my image. I'm a woman. God is my image. So you start letting go of this whole gender idea. And then you will see God as everything. When you see a cat, you know that's God. When you see a tree, you know that's God. When you see Princess, you know that's God. When you see my twin, you know that's God. When you see Angel, you know that's God. When you see Michael, you know that's God. When you see Joseph, you know that's God. When you see Josephine, you know that's God. When you see Alice, you know that's God. Instead of just seeing God as man, you will see God as everything. Thank you for watching. I love you. Take good care of yourself. Give yourself a hug. One love.